Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shanae Lee Show. Welcome to my first monthly Thursday video. This is going to be a monthly series, and I do plan to have the playlist linked somehow, either down below in the description or at the end of the videos that relate to the monthly Thursday videos. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm figuring out whether Woobles beginner crochet kits are worth it. As you can tell, I'm working on Bjorn the Narwhal. Before we do that, let's just double check we're set up to be able to easily move our hook through the loop that's on it by tilting our piece so we can take a look at the loop. And this is coming from someone who definitely is a beginner, but has also worked on a few projects and kind of knows the basics of certain crochet stitches. I would call myself like a mid-level beginner, where it's like beginner, mid-beginner, and then advanced beginner before you start getting into like being more. I'm definitely familiar with quite a few of the stitches. I know how to do a lot of them. There are some, like some of the ones that we've had to use for Bjorn. I'm not that far into it right now, but there are definitely some stitches like the increase, the decrease, that I'm not 100% familiar with, but now that I've started to do it, I fully understand how to do an increase, at least for a single crochet. And right now I'm assuming that increasing for like a double stitch or half double stitch or a treble stitch, US terminology, I'm assuming that increasing those, like doing an increased double stitch, like you do two of the same stitches, two of the double stitches in one stitch to get the increase. I'm assuming the concept for the half double stitch and the double stitch, the half treble stitch and the treble stitch, I'm assuming the concept is the same. Sorry if I was a little bit repetitive there. I was trying to get the words out. Do I think that the Woobles is worth it? It's worth the price. It's like $25 to $35, I think. And I honestly think that if you have absolutely no materials but want to get into crochet, but as I said, you don't have any materials, so no crochet hooks, no yarn, no stitch markers, no stuffing if you're wanting to try to make stuffies or plushies, no, what else is in here? No little other gadgets like for including eyes or sewing on things. If you don't have those handy or easily accessible, then I do think that a Woobles kit is worth the price. Even if you're already into crochet but want to try to do the starter kits from Woobles, I feel like they could definitely market to a wider audience by saying like, oh, if you're more, I do think they have more advanced ones for once you're used to doing it. But what I'm trying to say is like, there should be like a more of a variety in options in what you get in the kit. If you don't need the crochet hook anymore because you have one from a previous Woobles kit, you should be able to say, I already have a hook, I don't need another one. You should also be able to say like, I have enough stuffing or enough eye pieces. Like you should be able to check off, or even yarn. I get a lot of yarn from my grandmother. I have a lot of yarn that I haven't needed to buy because I'm pilfering it from my grandmother, both of my grandmothers. So I feel like there should be options for what you get in the kit. Like if you have yarn but don't necessarily have a crochet hook, it's like, oh, I need the crochet hook and the filling, the polyfil or whatever. I feel like you should be able to like pick and choose what you need. And I feel like if you already have all of the materials needed but you wanted to try a Woobles kit, you should be able to just buy this or just get an online link to something and then have access to the step-by-step, which would obviously like be cheaper. But I feel like they could make like a whole lot more money if they provided options, and depending on what you do or do not include in your crochet kit, it would be less or more expensive. And I feel like that way they could cater to a bigger crochet audience. So that's my thoughts on that. Coming from a place, like I was saying, I'm not quite beginner and I'm not quite new to this, but I'm still relatively speaking new to this. I've made a bunch of blankets before. I feel like there should be options in the video saying like, okay, what stitches do you understand how to do, what stitches do you not understand how to do, and then like it should, like, I feel like it could be a little bit more personalized, the videos. It wouldn't be personalized like individually, but it would be personalizable based on what your understanding is of crochet. Like, if you have no understanding at all, then yes, like these videos, these detailed videos definitely 100% help. But if you're like not as new and like you have some basic understanding, there should be like another level to it. Like, okay, this is for people who are still new to it but aren't going in blind. I feel like there should be varying levels depending on how familiar you are with crochet. And I know that there are some more advanced plushies that you could do, but I'm just talking about in general, is even with the beginner kits and not the advanced kits, there should be levels to it, saying like, okay, I have some familiarity with crochet and with stitches, and I have my own way of holding it, so I just need to be guided through how to do this. I'm not saying this in a bad way or a negative way, it's just how I'm coming at this. And I think I've had to restart this like 3 or 4 times at this point because I kept losing count. And then I think at one point too, was like I didn't do a step right, but when I was going back on everything, it's like I was doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like there should be like options to where it's like, okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, so if I could have some step-by-step videos to be like, okay, this is where someone could potentially go wrong and this is how to fix it. Maybe that's just me, but again, as I said, I've had to do this out. I think this is the 4th time I'm trying to do this. I do think that the Woobles is worth it. I do think it's worth the money, you know, with the implication, with the understanding that you are 100% new to crochet. The $35 for a whole kit makes sense. And it really is a steal to be getting a 4mm crochet hook, a bunch of yarn, some stuffing, the eyepieces, a needle, and then some little thread stuff to sew stuff on. That definitely is a steal to be getting all that material for somewhere between $20 to $35. But I feel like once you have material accessible, spending $20 to $35 just to get more repeat stuff when you can use the yarn you have, or use the crochet hooks you have, or use the eyepieces or thread you have, it becomes less of a steal. So that's why I said there should be like some more options as to what you get in your kit. So I do think that there are pros and cons to the Woobles crochet kits, and I definitely think that there are things that could be done better, more efficiently, both for people who are into crochet or getting into crochet, and for the Woobles company as well. Maybe this is just me as someone who is kind of still in that newbie phase of crocheting, but that's just how I feel about this. As someone who's been in crochet for a little bit, is still kind of in that beginner phase of crocheting, and someone who wanted to start getting into plushies. Will this video be seen by the Woobles? Probably not, but who knows. I know this video was on the shorter side, but I appreciate you all watching. Again, welcome to my first monthly Thursday video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video.